Greetings and salutations, Relaxed Gamer Nation, and welcome back to Automations Unleashed. So, thank you for everybody who's replied to my headache of an issue in the last episode about the pistons and doing that stuff, but I discovered something really weird. Okay? So, thank you very much, Joe West, for giving me a layout of how I can do this. I'm sure it would work if it wasn't for this one issue. Let me show you that issue. So over here, I have our little timer blocks, our timer blocks and event controllers and stuff like that. I have them all labeled. Now this is in a creative world, so that I could futz about and figure things out. And I'm having a hell of a time here. Now, the Rotor Max Rotorman, no problem. No problem whatsoever. It likes doing that stuff. It's the piston high and piston low stuff. So when the piston gets below X amount of threshold or above X amount of threshold, it does these actions. But if we look in here, now I've constantly been doing this stuff. I've been trying to troubleshoot it, but this right here, input, piston, horizontal at nan% is my problem. No matter what I do, it's always there. I've tried powering off the station and powering it back on. And I have event piston low here. It's still horizontal at nan. Now, horizontal is our horizontal piston, which is currently at 0.5 meters. But the event controller doesn't understand that it's at less than 10%. It's just like horizontal at nan. So it's using action slot number 2, which in this instance, there's nothing there. So it doesn't quite understand percentages on a piston. Now this is all vanilla stuff. I'm not using any mods in this little creative except for my build vision and build info. That's the only mods I have in this little creative thing because I find it a lot easier using build vision. But now, if I take our piston low, now piston high, it has the same problem, horizontal and non. So it does not understand what's going on with the horizontal. I'm wondering if possibly if I set this up, no, it's not shear inertial tensor. What if I turn that off? Turn that off. No, that's not doing anything. Power down. Power up. Let's see here. Still at nan%. The only way I can get rid of these nan percentage is if I grind down the block or grind down the block to non-functional and grind and weld back up or replace the block. Now I have the selected block set to the horizontal, so it's looking at the horizontal piston, but it does not understand that it's at 0.5 meters. If I go and let's just bring this up to 9 meters and 9 meters. Velocity, I'll just put that up. And if you're watching here, it's still saying horizontal at nan. Even on the high, horizontal at nan. It does not, it's like it's completely lost its brain here. It doesn't know what level, what percentage the piston is set at. So it's always trying to use action slot number 2. Yeah, this is very perplexing, and therefore I'm doing this thing just to show you what I'm having troubles with. Now, I have my horizontal piston retraction here. I don't want it to retract below a certain amount. So I have the horizontal set to a maximum of 9 meters. And I have multiple retraction steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 retraction steps. Now, each retraction step only does half a meter of retraction. So I gotta use 2 of these things in order to get that to work. The same with this. This one, it does a horizontal reverse. So once it gets to a certain distance, it will automatically go and reverse the piston as soon as this timer block is triggered. Then it retracts once, retracts twice, retracts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times, and then it activates timer block 2, the retract horizontal piston number 2, which does those other 4 retractions. So right now, our piston is at 9 meters. So if I manually trigger this, trigger now, it's going to retract all the steps down to 0.5 meters. But it still is saying the horizontal piston is at nan. So that is definitely an error with space engineers. There's something that the pistons are not understanding. The event controller is not understanding the percentage of that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's very, very weird. And so I'm not going to be able to use this drill rig as I intended. So yeah, that's my my issues in this one. This is supposed to be vertical pistons. So once it's actually supposed to work, then this event controller, piston low, should start up the vertical piston step. And that's all it's doing. It's starting up the vertical piston step. Now the vertical piston step has a group of vertical pistons right here, and 2 vertical up pistons, and then it reverses it. I have nothing past this. So if we trigger the vertical piston step, so it drops the group down by 1.5 meters, which is perfect for these drills. And then after it does its drop, it will. See, I set it up, did it again. But originally I had a timer block here to start the rotation again. I turned that off for this particular reason, and the horizontal piston is set to reverse out. And we'll just take a quick look at that. But yeah, it's this piston nan crap, horizontal at nan, that's causing serious grief. But anyway, that's the update to this. So in the episode that I'm going to be recording now, I'll be basically trashing that whole system, and I'm just going to put automated mining back in because at least I know that works. It's a script. It's still technically automations, just not using the automations blocks. Anyway, I just wanted to give you share that to you, and I'll bring you back for the episode. And we're back. So I hope that previous RG explained what's going on with our automated drilling rig using the automations blocks and why we're going to be getting rid of it and using a script instead of using the event controllers and all that stuff. It's unfortunate as to what happened with that. That nan percent is really weird. I think the only way I can possibly fix that nan percent is by copy pasting the grid itself or reloading the save. And it would only be a temporary fix until it went to nan percent again. So yeah, that's that. Now, I received a comment being like, "Hey, RG, can you show me how to make these turrets?" Well, it's actually very easy. Very easy. So, let's take this turret for instance. We'll just tear it down and we'll rebuild it. There's no harm in doing that. Actually, you know what? Instead of me tearing it down, I will get build a repair to say adios, Matico. I have no idea what I just said, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody in that whatever I said. Okay, build a repair. Oh, there you go. There you go. So yeah, we're just gonna rebuild this turret because this one I've done some cladding to, And it's got a whole bunch of these MG25 Prowler chain guns. I'm pretty sure I have this set up properly. I'm not. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine initially. So we'll just let that chop up here. I'm going to let this continue whatever it's doing. Actually, I think it's ready for another spawn. Okay. This is torn down now. So basically what I did is, this is an advanced rotor. It's hooked into the grid via a conveyor. So to create this this rotor turret, this advanced or custom turret, basically need to turn this advanced large rotor into an advanced large rotor with a small head. So that's going to weld this up. I am going to temporarily rotor lock this just so it doesn't move all over the place. Now, as you see over here, I have a conveyor converter. This is part of one of the free packs or something like that. I think it was the I forget what it was, but they brought it in when they brought in a few things like the extra angled rails, etc. But right here, our conveyor converter. I'm just gonna turn this to yellow. Just no, not yellow. We'll do red. We'll go red. Now the conveyor converter has a large connection at the back, small connections all around the side, and small connections at the front, at the other, on the back or the front, whichever you go. I think that's considered the front, actually. And we're just going to plop this on here. Build and Repair will put that together. One of the nice things about that. And next, over here we have a hinge. We got to name this hinge. It's a good idea to name it to whatever turret you're building. Where is my hinge? Do I not have a hinge on here? I don't have. Oh, there it is. It's right there. So we have the 3x3, then the hinge part, 3x3 hinge part, and then your regular hinge. Now on the sides here, you see these little little flares or direction indicator, whatever you're called. I'm pointing at the screen, but you're not. It doesn't help. But on the right hand side, there's those two little divots or slashes or embeddeds or whatever they're called. I'm not good at that stuff. But that indicates the back end of the turret, so the back end of the rotor. So if I put a rotor, not a rotor, a hinge, the back end of the hinge. So if I put a hinge on here and I go into the negative, then it will actually go in that direction. So what I like to do is I like to put the negative at the back here, like so. And just for safety's sake, we're just going to hinge lock it for now. So now we have our hinge. Next, depending on the turret, you might have to do a couple other things. In this case, I'm going to be using these Saber twin barrels for this. Now they have connections on 3 out of, no, sorry, 2 sides and the back. But they're also really big. So I like to put them in a specific direction along this. Now with these prowlers, they were only 3 blocks, and the actual connection point is right here. But this is a much bigger block. So we're going to take our small conveyors, and you put on as many of these as you want for your turrets. I like to overkill things and put in like 3. Because I'm going to be putting in 3 turrets. 3 sets of these twin barrels. Build and Repair will come along and build them up for me. And because it's connected to the base, it's automatically loading the ammo into them. you like so. Okay. So next, we need some way of pointing the turret to the right direction. That's what a camera is for. But in this case, I'm going to put a turret controller in first and put the turret camera on top of it. So the turret controller is this little block. It's a great little block. You've probably seen so many people making turrets, or not. I'm not sure. Maybe you have. But we're going to put that there. And then we're going to take our camera. Now, you can do this with a top-mounted camera if you have the DLC. Or a front-mounted camera. Like this. You just put the camera in a different location. Like in the middle or whatnot. But since I have the DLC, I am going to make use of the top camera. Now, with the DLC camera, it's pretty obvious on which direction you gotta face. Wherever the camera lens is facing. See, that's the back side, and here's the camera lens. So we're just gonna put that right there. Build and repair will fix it up. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we've got to start naming a few things here. The rotor is already named to TU Rotor 01 Saber because I'm putting the Saber turret on here. The hinge I need to name. Oops, I have to. I use build and repair, but if you'd have to, if you're not using that mod or can't use mods, you'll have to go into your settings here and find the camera that you put down. In this case, the top-mounted camera. Oh, or is it this top-mounted camera? It's this top. It's this one. Yeah, it's this top-mounted camera. Because it's white, and it's on the same block that I'm controlling, which is the turret controller. So this is top-mounted camera, so we'll just go TU camera 01, or we can 02 or 03. But because it's a different gun, I just name it by the gun.
Energy low.
And my energy is low. Now, you have to do the same thing to the hinge. I'm not sure which hinge it is. That's kind of why I like build and repair. If you're not using a hinge in build and repair, best way to figure that out is to put a control panel down. Like so. I'm just going to grab some power while build and repair fixes that up. Okay, so now that we have a control panel on here, we can click the control panel, and let's go find the white hinge right here. Here's our white hinge because it's on this grid. It's on this grid, and that's a grid on top of this grid. So here, we'll find the right white hinge. I don't know what I was naming these things. I'm sure it's somewhere here. Let me just quickly check. TU hinge, okay. As in turret, TU for turret. So hinge. TU hinge. It doesn't really matter. You go 01, 02, etc. But this is a different gun, so I'm going 01 Saber. Because it's my first Saber gun. So now that those are named, this is named TU Rotor 01 Saber. The hinge is named TU Hinge 01 Saber. Turret controller is another thing I need to name. Did I even bother naming it? No, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, TU control. TU control 01 Saber. If I could spell control right. There we go. Now, we're going to go into the turret controller here and find everything we named. Sorry, there's a spider right next to my desk here, and I'm just it kind of caught my eye, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. So the azimuth rotor is the rotor or hinge or whatever that is going left to right. So in this case, we're TU rotor 01 Sabre. The elevation rotor is the rotor or hinge that goes up or down. In this case, it is our TU hinge Sabre. And the assigned camera, TU camera 01 Sabre. Okay, that's all set up there. The arming radius will change depending on whatever weapons you're using here. I'm using weapon core, so it basically changes everything to a more understandable size. Okay, AI detected true. Saber. Now, if we go into the sabers, where's my guns? Here we go. There's something here. Warning. Fixed weapon detected without a target lead group set. This is specifically for weapon core weapons. You have to set a target lead group. It doesn't matter what number you pick, just as long as it works. And then when I click, it says it's online. Now the turret controller is using the TU camera 01 Sabre as aiming. The AI detection is true. And here's our speeds. You can keep it that high, you can keep it lower. Now with weapon core, you can't specifically add weapons to the list. It's all automatically set up according to your target lead group. And I want you to target. Actually, I have no biologicals on here, but that's fine. All that is on. Awesome. Tracking mode. Awesome. Saber turrets are good at piercing. So if I set our tracking mode to, say, power, or pick subsystem to power, then I should go up here and target subsystems. I don't know if it really changes on whether or not if you've had a subsystem selected and you select and you have target subsystems off, but I like to turn it on anyway. And there we go. We have a custom turret, which, if we go into a seat, which I will build, you know what? I'll just build a seat right here. So now, if we go into our seat here and we find the turret controllers, so we'll go TU controllers, do a prowler here, so G, TU, right here, TU controller prowler, control, TU controller saber, control. So now, this is our prowler, which has 6 barrels on it. And here's our saber, which I have rotor lock still on. Hinge, TU, saber, turn, rotor lock off, share inertia tensor on. And my rotor is still locked too. There we go. So now, it's firing like 6 shots at a time. Sadly, some of the shots don't render. But it's a pretty deadly gun. So that's making a custom turret. Like I said, there's lots of videos about making custom turrets. I was just asked in the comments to to show how to make a custom turret. Now, how does this work with our defense? Well, the defense block, default defense block, allows you to target enemies up to 2,500 meters. Whatever the lock distance is. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Leeway point doesn't matter because it's not a mobile grid. So this basically is like, hey, okay, defense controller. If you find something within your locking range, lock on. So when it locks on to items, then these turrets, even if they aren't able to reach that distance, will lock on the target and aim towards the target. Once the target gets in range of the weapons, then they will fire. Very simple there. But yeah, let us get rid of our system here. We don't have to do anything about the pistons or the drills or stuff like that. We just have to basically turn it off, get rid of our event controllers, timer blocks, etc., and then turn it back on with the script instead. Now, I was trying to do something here of color labeling, but it didn't work out, and having that rotor nan percent kind of screwed things up. So we are going to get rid of our event controllers, our timer blocks, because these are not needed and they're just a waste of space. First time I'm using the automation programming block. First things first. Automine rig. We need to go in here and find our script. Browse. Automatic mining platform. Right there. Copy. It's updated up until 1.2.0.025. Incorrectly detecting cargo modules. Script will work with the Warfare 2 update. Safety net and warnings when share inertia tensor option is missing for mechanical blocks. Fixed issue with antenna and the transmitting progression. Transmitting progression feature temporary disabled due to missing property. Property? Okay. Minor changes. That's basically on antenna. Guide now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's fine. Okay. So, let us start tagging things here. We'll just use the basic mine01 tag. Yes, please. My bad. Drills. Those are actually going to be deleted. So, pistons. Vert up. Vert. In. Flush. Vert. Regular. Same here. Horizontal. Line. We need to do the rotor. (901). Yeah, we got that basic set up. Now let's get rid of these and start adding. We'll add one more piston here. there goes my lamps. These are computers on them? No. So build and repair should come around. Yep. Piston. Huh. Why don't I do this? You know, I'll put the big pistons on. 5 long pistons. Because it doesn't matter. It would just work. Do we have enough space here? No, we do not. Shit. I guess I could put a regular piston on here as well. And then drills. Okay, piston vertical. Piston vertical. And where's my 5 piston? 5 piston, 5 piston. One by 5. That's my vertical. And then the drills. This one, and this one. They are incomplete because they don't have the parts, because the parts are in my inventory. Yeah, this should just work. So we'll grab just this bit. Drill. I think I can name them all. Yeah, I can. But first, I gotta name one. Okay. So let us recompile it. So that's all set up right there. Now we have to go into our advanced rotor. This one. And we got to go into our custom data. Hold on. I have to actually set it first. That's fine. Let's just drop this down. -2. Get to our 180 point. Or 90 point, rather. Does this have inertia tensor set? Yeah. Oh. No. Or torque, rather, not inertia tensor. Okay. Now, we need to go into the programming block, which I've renamed PB. This is the one that I have to go through? Yep, okay. Max rotor. 90. In rotor, minus 90. Non-piston blocks in rotating arm. Vertical step length. We'll do 1.5. Horizontal step length. I actually want to set this as true. 2.5, 2.5. Go 5. Tracked horizontal piston before vertical step. That should be fine. Leaving this as is should be fine. Okay, so let's go into this. Go down to here. First argument, set. Run. So now it's set. It's ready to go. Now I just want to double check to make sure that it didn't screw around with my settings. 90 minus 90. Okay, we're good. And I have limits on the rotors, so that's good. So that should be good. All we have to do is set it up and let her go. So, what we do here is start. Now it's going to do the thing. We control everything, drop everything down, etc. Push it out. I might actually want to up the step length. Let's pause. Run. Set. Is it colon or semicolon? Colon 6, I think. Is that 6? I think that's 6. Okay. Because I already have a hole dug, I'm trying to set this up so that I don't have to wait. See what this does. Hasn't done anything with the pistons yet. Well, the up and down pistons, rather. Is 12 enough? Do we need to... Let's see what we get here. Might take it all the way out to the end, which is what I wanted to do. Just short. Okay. Let's try one more step. 14. Okay, that looks like it's full extension. Now, if I jump it up a step, we should have these pistons coming down. So we're at step 14 right now. So if we do step 16, pistons are coming down. Where I wanted to go. I could just leave it right now, let it go from there. Because the next, what, 6, 7 steps will bring it in. So we're at 16. So if we set it to, say, 24. Pistons are not going down, but the piston's coming in. I'm going to fiddle around with this for a moment, and I'll bring you back when it's ready. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get here. We've gone down a level, and we are set at currently step 30. Now, I have no idea what that's going to do, but we are at set 30 here. So we're set to step 30. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. And let's see what happens here. Okay, it's going back. Okay. Now, I believe once it gets over there, it should lower the head down one more step. Chesky. Okay. Yeah, lower the head down one more step. And it should be fine. But first, I want to get some lights on there. I'll just go over here. We'll go to the programming block, the automine rig, and we are going to put a pause in here so that I can put some lights on. So I can put some lights on, which I do not have in my in my list, of course. This one, yeah. Put a light there, put a light there, there. Oh, we're out of bulletproof glass. Okay, that's fine. We have lights. So our pit is lightened. Alrighty, that was weird. My system just completely died on me. Well, not died, but it started lagging something crazy. I'm not sure if there's a memory leak with space engineers, which, who knows, it's quite possible. Or if there was something else going on with my computer. That's also possible. Okay, we're going to continue this up. But, let's see here. So, what have we done in this episode so far? We changed the drill arm. We basically added more pistons. Changed the whole system for the drill arm so that our timer blocks weren't the problem. I'm sorry for those who are playing console, PlayStation, Xbox, etc. Sorry, I can't help you there. The event controllers are great, but with that nan percentage thing, it was really, really, really weird. I showed you how to build a custom turret. I have no idea if this is going to work against enemies yet, but hopefully it will. Whenever that comes around. Whenever something gets close enough for us to fire on. And drill rig. Yeah, we completely changed the system. And this is set up to drill. Theoretically, it shouldn't go past that point. I hope not. I'm sure we'll see soon enough. Hydrogen low. Well, I don't even have a hydrogen bottle on me. Oh, I have 2 hydrogen bottles. What? What's that? Why do I have a little computer screen in front of me here? Was that an update or something like that? Weird. Go to. We need more ice. That's going to be a problem. That is definitely going to be a problem. Why do I have it? Oh, I probably have no choice in the matter. And I can't tear that down, otherwise this whole damn thing will fall apart. Maybe. Because, yeah, it will fall apart. Okay. Maybe it's a setting I have set up or something like that. But anyway, I think this is going to be it for this episode. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or whatever as to what the heck I'm doing wrong here, or like Joe West, he gave me a whole formula on how to use event controllers, and I tried it over and over and over again, but that error just killed it. Anyway, until next time, I have been Relax Gamer, and I will see you guys later. Ciao.